Let me start my introduction from the extreme left. He is an APC member, businessman and entrepreneur, and of course political analyst. Join me to welcome Festus Ehi. Ehi Nayoma.
Okay, Noyo.
Yes, Ehi Nayoma.
Good morning, Wednesday viewers.
Welcome,
good morning.
welcome Festus. I appreciate your coming. So very close to him also, he's an entrepreneur. I can call him a politician now, I will not be making a mistake. Yes, he is Peter Okumbo of the YPP. Yeah. Welcome to TMI. I appreciate your coming.
Good morning, Wilson, and good morning to the viewers out there.
All right. So very close to me, he was one time local government boss, right, of Southwest local government, and of course there was one time also in the House of Assembly, and of course there's always been a political analyst and activists. Yes, join me to welcome Honorable Destiny in Abulele, PDP, right?
Yes.
So let me make it clear because the campaign is getting a little bit confused right now. So has to be sure. Are you still in the party I just mentioned?
100%.
Okay, PDP, YPP, APC, good.
You should know that.
Okay.
I'm contesting too.
Oh, you're contesting. No,
that person's face is there.
No, you are not contesting. Someone is
That
contesting.
person's face is there, but I'm contesting. Let me appreciate you and appreciate viewers and thank ITV management.
Right.
And I want to wish all fathers happy Father's Day, and wish my Muslim brothers is it happy
Eid
Easter, happy Eid
Kabir. Yeah.
God bless you.
All right. Well, it's all about the impact of political bigwigs in the forthcoming election. You get to hear a candidate have this political juggernaut, bigwig, the governor behind him. You get to hear, I'm not mentioning the candidate. You get to that saying, look, I have a former presidential candidate 2023 behind him. You get to hear, we have the president behind us. We have also a senator behind us. Why some are saying, big man will get our time. Well, all these are more will play out itself in course of this discussion. Let me start off with Honorable Destiny in Abulele. Bigwigs. You see candidates running to these bigwigs to come speak on their behalf, to send a manifesto, to color them so bright before Edo State. Do you think this will hold sway or we have an impact in the election? Let me start with your Destiny.
Yeah, Mr. Wilson, let me first of all appreciate you again and thank ITV management. And I appreciate my brothers here. You see, our system here in Africa, in Nigeria, is very precise. It is tailored around communalism, unlike a developed client where you have individualism, every man to himself, God for us all. You see, the issue of bigwigs is date back to the African existence, or the very precise. Let me try to narrate to the Nigerian existence as a state, because if you look at it, despite it's narrowed down, we are, practicing presidential system of government, quote and unquote. Although some say quasi-presidential, some say we are not very sure of the system, but take it or leave it. What is in the paper is presidential system. And in presidential system, like in the United States of America, it is the president or the governor of the state that is the head, the political head of their various, country, or narrow it down to subnational governments. So there is a flow that the issue of bigwigs has a role to play. Take it or leave it, because I wouldn't want to. Let me try to go to the northern part of this country. Their system, the federal system, where the rich is up there, and they are answerable to their leader. The bigwigs has a role to play. But that is not to say, if you go back to the just completed national election, you will agree with me. There is a little bit, paradigm shift for us. So now it's 50-50, the issue of the bigwigs and the follower. You see, why it's like that again? If you go back again, you will see that, permit me, people want to be there and begin to, instead of them teaching their followers on how to fish themselves, they want to continually, perpetually giving their fish so that they will remain, perpetually subservient to them. So the issue of bigwigs, it is tied to it. That is why in this part of this world, they will tell you who are your followers, who is your leader, comes to play. So for us, the issue of bigwigs, we cannot rule it out in our political system. I'm just trying to get in the background to why the issue of bigwigs is prominent in our political system.
All right. Later on, we'll go down to really take a look at some examples that, unfolded itself way back, even in Edo State, during political time, presidential election, National Assembly election, you just name it. Of course, names definitely will be mentioned in due course. Over now to you, Peter Okumbawa. He said bigwigs, they have a role to play, whether you believe it or not. Do you share his sentiments?
At this moment, I'm reminded of the immortal words of Bob Mr. Man, in the song where he said, "Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery, none but ourselves will free our mind." The idea of a bigwig telling me what to do with my political existence is nothing but a definition of modern day slavery. And if any person is under such a yoke, such a person is beneath the very basic existence of a human being that is free and without being in chains. Modern day slavery dictates that the chains are not physical no more, they are mental chains. And these bigwigs, they design themselves, they perpetuate themselves in power to keep people constantly in the condition where they are. I dare say that if you give the common man the requisite education and the requisite economic viability to flow, so that his talent and his gift will manifest, you cannot control him anymore. You won't give him 5,000 or 10K to go and fight behind somebody who doesn't believe in. You will not go to the interiors and go and mobilize him out to the boss to come and partake of voter registration exercise in view of getting his vote with time. So all those persons who find themselves under the yoke of these bigwigs, who are waiting for one political leader to tell them the trajectory and the projection of what it should be, they are slaves today. And by all definition of it, they are slaves, and they probably will die slaves. Because in this age and time, I think that it's reflecting of nothing but the lack of education and lack of intellectual sophistication for you to depend on a man for a choice such as a leader for the next 4 years.
You're talking about mental slavery right now.
Yeah, it's even worse than mental slavery because they depend on them for their economic well-being. Because the idea of bigwigs in politics is designed in a way and manner that your own gift as a follower is not to be accentuated. Your own leadership skill, they are not mentors in the sense of proper leadership. They are mentors today to our young people who are aspiring to be like them, not on behalf of the people, but on behalf of those who control the economic scale. Yes, my other brother is very correct. The influence of the bigwigs will be there. It's always been there. But I'm also happy he had noted that there is a paradigm shift of some sort where he had scaled it to 50-50. I dare say it's 70-30 these days because the hunger level, the very quick and very fast political orientation going on now will simply mean that these guys you think are following you because you are one big name or the other are now getting consciousness. Interesting thing is that you are not going to be with them in that ballot booth where it's a secret ballot system where they will turn prints. You get me? And I pray that INEC do what they did before, where the security agencies will be given an instruction to not allow cameras into those polling units, into those polling booths, because what they now depend on to pay you when you come out is to show them evidence that you've turn printed in XYZ place where they want you to turn print. And if you are listening to the sound of my voice and you are going to play that kind of politics, you are enslaving yourself.
All
Your
right.
children are unborn children for the next 8 years or more.
All right, calm down. Peter, calm down. I'll come back to you. But not to you, Festus. You heard both of them. One said, yes, you just can't shake it out. Just like 50-50 right now. Peter said, no, it's like 30-70 because of the hunger factor. But if INEC should do the needful, definitely, and those citizens, they have been conscientized and know what to do. The issue of bigwigs, take it up from there.
I'm going to be not a bit, I'm going to be very different what Mr. Okumbo has said for a lot of reasons. You see, politics has always had a shape. And if you refuse to go with the shape, even when there is a paradigm shift, you're not going to get anything from it. Now, we'll talk about bigwigs. What are we actually talking about? People who are in a political party that have that followers. I will give a case study of the Edo North we have today, where we have Comrade Adam Saluyo Shomole. In the last governorship election that was held in this state, even after the man left the position of a governor, he was able to give APC 5 local governments. We have a big wing also at Edo North then, which was Comrade Philip Shaibu as the deputy governor. He dragged to win just a local government. Now, it's all about being a big wins. There are people we call big wins We assume they are, but they are not. But if a man actually have influence over his political territory, he's a big win. He can deliver anytime, any day. Just like what the case I said about Adam Saluyo Shomole. He is and he will remain a big win. Because the man is not just having followers who, according to him, are into mental slavery. No. If Oshomole is taking you as his follower, Oshomole will make you to become what you even want to become. That's why when you see what is happening today in APC in some session where you have, they'll tell you these names are coming out. Oshomole boys are there because he believes that for him to be relevant, his boys will be relevant. So if we are talking about big wins, your definition might quite be different from mine. You are not a big wins if you can't impart your political territory. In Edo State, there is what I call political bloc. If we are to go by the political blocks, who are actually the big swings in Edo Central? Who are the big wins in Edo North? Who are the big wins in Edo South? You find out that it is only Oshomole, Adam Saluyo Oshomole, that is outstanding up to now. Because there are people we see as big wins that have never been able to win their local government. Let me use Edo South, for example. Now, when he's the present senator representing Edo South, he was not having a big wins before he won. Then we have people who call, a party there and I go deliver. They were unable to deliver. So the idea of him trying to bring the mental slavery people, the adulterating leaders who they are not supposed to adulterate, that one is another principle, is another ideology to me. Because for you to tell me, I am a sportsman, you are not just a sportsman because you are a spectator only. At times, you are going to be a sport gladiator. So, those people we call the big wins. I'm using Edo South, for example. We saw the election that happened in 2020 between Pastor Izeyamu and Obaseki. We were expecting some miracles in some local government. They never happened. If you want me to mention them, many of them are in my party. I won't mention the names. Because I can't be so blind that I'm not seeing them. Right. We call them big wins, but they are not big wins. Right. These are people that on the day of election, they come. If they see that they are not winning, they want to cause problem.
Okay. I'll come back to you first. He mentioned the name in Edo, not but from like saying that we have several big wigs, even in Edo South. You get to hear the governor's name being mentioned that he's a big wig, so people tend to listen to him, get to hear the current, yes, one vying for the deputy governor with the governor, talking about the PDP, Osadio, again, it's a big wig in Ipobaoka. I have to, start mentioning names right now. According to some person, someone saying that, look, we have also, I want to put it now in PDP, Matthew Doikeme. These are just internal big ones. You go to Edo North, you get to hear names like Kabiru Ajoto. You get to hear names also for Mobile Godwins. If you go to Edo Central, you get to hear the Binekis and the rest of the Binekis, sorry. You get to hear also so many other names. Now, all these names put together, do you think Edo citizens, like what he said, will listen to them when it comes to the time of casting their votes?
Yeah, Mr. Wilson, let me again, I can't stop appreciating your talking. ITV. You see, the issue of bigwigs is as old as politics, politicking put together. You see, there's a politics, politicking. Let me quickly correct one impression. In the last election, I think Oshomole, PDP was able to secure 2 local governments. That is one East and Akoko Edo, if I'm not mistaken. That's to put it at a proper perspective, because I was trying to let us know that we only got one local government.
That was 2020.
You see, let's look at it this way.
Yeah.
What defines you, or rather makes you a big wig? It is the ability to be able to influence your domain positively. I said it earlier. At times,
influence the domain positively.
Positively. At times, your interest is paramount when you are influencing it. There are some that give them handouts. There are some that equip them to be liberated, empower them. I've had a course there is one House of Rep member who, for 5 years, 6 years counting now, I cannot point to employment that he has given to his constituency. Whether by way of taking them to Abuja, where he's presently, domiciled and preside over his constituency. I cannot. Unlike me, that's why I was in the local government council. I was able to, give employment, plus minus about 63 persons. But here you are, the man in the National Assembly, perpetually giving his followers 20,000, 30,000 naira monthly. Again, you now ask me the issue of loyalty. Like me, I have been able to, give it to them to liberate them. It's left for you whether you will be loyal. Unlike him, there is a tie that, look, if tomorrow you refuse to Dombale, that 20,000, 30,000 naira will be cut off, as he rightly put it. So, in the actual sense, who's more influencing is domain positively. You see, we have a long way to go, and there is need for this, conscious, education, so that our people will get out of this meta slavery, as rightly put it. I think it was one French philosopher that put it this way in Latin. He said, "Cogito ergo sum." What that means, I think, therefore I am. Why are we doing all this? So that our people can think, have a rational thinking, to be able to decide for themselves. Let me ask you, that man that gives 20,000 or 30,000 naira to the followers, and I that employed pensionable job, which one they be more as in terms of being loyal to? But it is quite lugubrious and disheartening that these persons at times, you see, those ones that he gives 30,000 or 20,000, they are more loyal to him.
Okay.
Rather than me that have given pensionable jobs.
That is sad reality.
That is the sad reality. We must look at it dispassionately. It is quite sad. You see, there are some bigwigs that have learned the art of, perpetually giving them slavery, perpetually giving them peanuts for them to remain perpetually subservient to them. That's where we find ourselves. And this is the time to go out and educate the people, so that our people can be able to differentiate between the zoo and the museum.
All right, now.
You see,
all right, Honorable Destiny. Honorable Destiny. Honorable Destiny. Hold on. He has the floor. You react.
So we can think.
Yes.
In thinking, we'll go out to differentiate between the black and the white.
I'll come back to you. I will come back to you. Well, anyway, I don't know how to really fault you, but I feel like, just send a note of warning. You're clever about it. You're clever, but please, let's watch our emotions. So let me come to you, Peter. Of course, I know Peter right now.
I'm a village man.
Honorable, thank you. Now, Peter, he gave an example of himself when he was a local government boss. Then what he did and what some big wigs are doing, so to speak. Get to realize that some persons may not have big wigs right now in the state. They go outside of the state to bring in big wigs in their party to come talk to people in the state. Do you think that will hold sway?
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
It was really the German philosopher that said the immortal words that cogito ergo sum. I think therefore people, first of all, have been lobotomized to a point where they can't think for themselves. I do not see why loyalty should be ascribed to a man who gives you handouts. That's the express definition of slavery on a monthly basis, in which case if that handout doesn't come, your loyalty is in doubt. I do not think why such should be subscribed over a man who gave you a pensionable job, something that you could live on. That is to say one thing. When I look at the history of APC and PDP in Edo State, I weep that they even have followers to start with. Because in terms of political philosophy, there is an underlying interest, and it's very personal. In the PDP, they have godfathers. In the APC, they have godfathers. The white people have God the Father, because it's the people who are hoping, for the first time in the history of the existence of these states, come to terms with the reality that it's time to think for yourself. Because in the end, the person you are electing into office ought to come in and manage the resources that he needs and manage our common patrimony. If he's a billionaire, he's not bringing his money to come and fix Edo or fix the problem of Edo. The big factor coming from outside, sir, they are investors. They're investing in the future of the state as it subscribes to their economic well-being. Those who are now bigwigs today are political merchants who are at every instance of election ready to roll out to lobotomize the people, get their vote for the next 4 years, and to hell with them for the next 4 years. I dare say, for the man who was mentioned in the donut as a political bigwig, if you have your thinking cap and you are a bad people-centric policies and orientation, you will never ascribe to Adams Oshomole the place of being such a bigwig.
But to him, he's a bigwig.
Yeah,
so he's good.
In 2016,
anyway, it's not about Adams right now.
I'm coming.
Generally speaking, please. It's not about Adams, please. Yes.
We're talking about bigwigs.
So hold on, Peter. Peter, hold on. I wouldn't want us to ascribe negativity to anybody. No. I choose to let him go because there wasn't negative about it.
Yes, thank you.
So
we're going into the question of the bigwigs and how they influence the 2024 election.
Good.
Thank you. That's what it is. In 2016, the bigwig from the donut made a law through the House of Assembly. And that law was simply that the position of governors and ex-governors was now pensionable. So today, they will build houses for them in any of their choice location in Nigeria. It's there in the law. I'm not quoting myself. Any of their choice location in Nigeria. So if it's Banana Island, if it's Abuja, if it's the new peninsula they are building, they're constructing in Lagos, Edo people, taxpayer, the market men and women, the keke riders and people will fund it. It is also a law today that bigwig said that they are duly entitled to 2 police officers, 2 personal assistants of not less than grade 7 in the civil service, 2 cooks, and they and every member of their immediate family are entitled to free medical care. Bigwig. Who cared about the man who is rotting away at Oselu, at a donut and a dose central? Who made a policy to guarantee that his life will be interesting and swift until he gives his last breath? But you see the bigwig, what they did. They were very intentional. In 2016, they amended the law that made their office pensionable. Now, if you want to know how that sacrifically destroys Edo State in terms of our revenue base, look at the number of people that have become ex-governors and ex-deputy governors in the history of this country, and begin to project the future of Edo, the number of men and women who will be ex-governors and ex-deputy governors, and the extra codes that they have formulated a law to keep taking from the common patrimony. You see that these bigwigs are the problem. I tell people, they are political merchants. They look out for themselves. They come every 4 years to fool you, to lobotomize you, to get your vote. This is the time for the ordinary people to think for themselves that their life is fleeting before them. If you are 40 and 40 above, the chances that you will see times 2 of your age is in the hands of God. The life expectancy today in Nigeria is 55. I dare say it's less than that in terms of the economic reality of today. People are dying on a daily basis. You are telling me about bigwig. The bigwig ready for me will be that person that has promoted a policy wherein your life is guaranteed, wherein you take your last breath, your effort at joining force with the labor force to building our state is guaranteed, not the man who gives you handout on a monthly basis. That is slavery. That is what I want my people to understand. Politics in Nigeria is designed to perpetually make you a slave. That is why the kind of schools you have today in Edo, their children will not go to that school. My brother here was in the House of Assembly. It's very relevant to today's government. I want him to tell me which of the schools they built that his own children attend or is befitting for his own children. And I want this man here of the APC extraction to tell me the medical facility that existed in the time when his bigwig was in office that is befitting for the common man. Don't forget that what you call hospitals today in Edo almost doesn't exist, because the few or one that exists in Sapele Road is not affordable by the men and women who today their pays are not enough to take them home.
I'll come back to you.
The pay increment, I'll tell you about the economic reality, suffocating that pay increment.
All right, I will come back to you, Peter. Well, it's like you have so much to react, so go ahead. Festus, you have the floor. But please, viewers, mind you, we have PDP, YPP, APC, so they are party members, okay, so they are speaking from their own volition to really get to know about the impact of bigwigs in the forthcoming election. Over now to you, Festus.
I'm surprised with his level of hand-operation. Because what we are supposed to be talking about is the impact of political bigwigs.
Yes.
But he has drifted. I'm coming.
No, hold on. He has
drifted from the topic. It's like when you meet me as a counselor and say, okay, you need the requirement to get an admission into University of Benin. And I'm telling you how to live your life in University of Benin is 2 different things. Now, in politics, let me come down to the Nigeria politics. leaders, advisors. I can't be here and be in my house. But what I'm trying to let us understand at this point is, we assume some people are political bigwigs. They are not. That was why I have to give references, first with my own leader, Comrade Adam Saluisho Shomole.
Now, let's play
I'm
down
coming,
the
sir.
for some
Then
good
I gave
reasons.
another reference about how Ned Imasuen became the senator representing Edo State. Now, we have a leader, which he mentioned, from Ikobaka local government, the person of Ogi, Saradion Ogi. He's a leader. Even if I'm not in his party, he's a political leader. The person representing him at the National House of Representatives is from the Labour Party, Murphy, representing Ego and Ikobaka. Now, if the essence of these political bigwigs is to influence their political territory, their political areas, why will Ned be representing Edo State, where we have leaders from APC, PDP? So what I'm trying to tell you is this. My own definition, my understanding of political bigwig is, if you can't influence results coming out from your polling units, your ward and your local government, you are not a bigwig. You may be a political leader. Now, when it comes to appointment, you cannot influence me. That is your political son. Because I see you as a leader, I'm not your political son. To be given an appointment in Abuja and you are telling me you are a political leader, you are not a bigwig. So you might be a leader. Like he just gave an example of leaders who imprison their followers. They are not leaders. And the mistake that most leaders in Edo State have been making is this. They want to be there alone. They want to occupy everywhere. That's why winning Edo State to some people becomes a problem. Because you have not given this man the free will to grow. They want to be the head. It's okay for them. But it's always turned around. That why you will not allow this man to grow, you are not growing. If I, as a father, I have a son, my son should have a grandson. Should have a son, then I become a grandfather. That's how politics ought to be. That's why when we are talking about big wins, I'll look the whole of Edo State. I'll tell you, to me, we have one political big wins. Adam Salu Oshomole.
No, listen. Play down the name because
I am mentioning the names. Listen. You mentioned some names. Let me shock you.
In a good
Those
light.
names you mentioned, the Ajotos, the Enegbeneki, and all, how have they been able to influence political results from their territory?
We'll come back to
now,
that.
wait, let me shock you.
Yes.
From the Edo Central, it was a fight that even Bello have to become the senator. Marcus Onobo become a rep member. Those that call themselves political bigwigs could not influence vote in their own unit, in their ward. That's why in APC attempt, before they will regard it, they'll say, okay, let's go and check his unit. Did you win your last unit? They'll say, no, then are you a political bigwig?
I'll come back to you.
Well, let me quickly react to some of the comments made by my friend's younger brother. You see,
Mind you, they have two separate comments right now.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead, react to it.
You see,
Yes.
we must try to situate it appropriately. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, St. Augustine that once said, and I quote, said, truth is like a lion. Let it loose, it will defend itself. You see, the point I want to make is this. Before I find myself, I had an inroad into politics, accidental politician, to be very precise. I had a life that I was living. It's on record. I want him to carry out that research. I will sponsor it. I will sponsor it. The school my children, attend today date back to before I became a local government chairman. I did not say because now I'm not a local government chairman, let me change them. I take them to a very, big wigs, quote unquote school. The house I was living before I became a local government chairman, I lived in that house till throughout my tenure. So if it was not befitting, perhaps I would have said, okay, I started living in GRA way back. But there are situations. Even the hospital my wife attended before I became, till tomorrow. If you want me to sponsor it, I will sponsor it. So they will give you the records. It's not manufactured records. So what am I trying to say? You see, we've had talks like this. They will say yes. There was one, I wouldn't want to mention name, that said, okay, but as you speak just now, they just giving him a small appointment or a letter. He was living somewhere, but he's in GRA. So go to Ovia Southwest to be very precise. Go and try to x-ray the various, council chairmen from the creation of Ovia Southwest. I've never said, okay, because I'm not a local government chairman, let me go to GRA. I was living in GRA before I became a local government chairman. Because I believe in content is the mother of satisfaction. I was contented. I live a life that I can, even till tomorrow, is a life. I'm not living a life as, say, I was one time local government chairman. I drive myself around the city without any security, even while I was in the council. What am I trying to say? You see, we must look at it and endeavor to say, okay, good plus minus, that this one is he or she has tried, and castigate, not generalized. It's a big fallacy. You don't need to generalize, say because and I belong to party. There are sense in PDP. There are equally sense in APC. There are sense across, but they are bad eggs. Don't say because of one person you want to. So you don't need to throw away the baby and the bad water. We must look at it dispassionately. Right. So that, you see, our future is more paramount. Yeah. So we are here educating the people. There are some that some of us, unknowingly, we are their model. They say, I'm looking up to that guy. What are we saying? For me, I'm not talking as a politician. I try to see how I can. I'm not talking as a politician. I'm going to give it to you when you are doing it. When you're not doing it, I see. It's as easy as that. Let me quickly say this. Now, all of us, we have candidates. We must look at it. How can bigwigs influence the forthcoming election? What the issue will say, what have you done for your people? Has a long way to go. We made mention of our father just now, Barrister Sarah Jonge. He has imparted, since he has ventured into politics, he has imparted his local government that I don't think I can see any other.
All right, now
I'm coming, sir.
Okay, gentlemen,
I don't think I can see any other leader in Edo State that can match Osaudio in terms of impact in his local government.
Gentlemen, hold on right now. Now, the reason I said we should play down the name. Because in the first one, I really allowed because in the sense I know because it wasn't derogatory.
Yes.
But I know by mentioning it, someone want to counter it become derogative. So I don't want to avoid that. So for now, please, let's play down the names. All right? I can drop a name or two, but doesn't mean that you go, okay, this is follow it again. So counter that I know it's not the follow it again. You go to hey, you are not supporting my party. I know that I wouldn't want that on this platform. So please, let's play down the names. Now let me come to you. Your party is like, for the youths, this is, and of course others also in line. Some are saying that, well, this particular party don't have big wigs around them. So it's be difficult for them to sway Edo electorates. If you go back way in time, someone went to invite a Wike here to come talk to the people. You get to that song, Wike, they come and the rest of them. It happened, and that had massive influence in the election, but we know how that story ended. Some also went to go and bring in a Buhari. You understand? My president to come, hey, talk to these people. We know how that story ended. Some also went to bring in a former presidential candidate, Olumide Akpata, or went to, bring in someone to, talk also. Even your own candidate also did the same. Talking about Aswe Godalo, your own candidate, Abakumaiza, did the same. So it's like, people are bringing in big wigs. You understand? Hold on.
No, we're in the live, no, mention.
Good looking, Brother Jonathan. Who is he?
No, he came to commission.
Okay, fine.
No.
But,
no, listen. Let quickly comment.
Destiny, hold on.
But your social media handlers are using to campaign.
Hold on. See, Destiny,
it is
hold
the government in power.
Destiny,
they came to commission a project executed by
No, a renovated project, please.
No.
A renovated project, please.
We must be truthful to
it was renovated.
No.
Gentlemen, hold on.
Gentlemen, an executive,
decorum, please.
At times,
Destiny, hold on.
It is more difficult to renovate rather to start a fresh one.
Destiny, hold on.
What he has done, there's not just a mere. See, I've listened to
Destiny Holder.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Decorum. Now, beginning to mention it because it's not a derogatory. I'm talking about people inviting people to come campaign for them. It's not a crime.
I don't so.
It
No,
is
we
not
must
a
situate it
crime.
appropriately. That's my point.
Fine. Now,
Not my candidate invited.
these people went out to bring it, and we're going to see more. It is not
In the coming
a
days,
crime.
yes.
The question now is how would they influence the outcome of the election? That is a question.
They are opinion leaders.
This party is doing this party did it in the past. No. Do you think their presence will sway Edo people to vote for their party? Your slogan, big man don't care about us. You understand? So we're going to take it on from there. And of course, I like your point saying that they have to emancipate themselves from mental slavery. You understand it now? What if peradventure, somewhere along the line, a big choose to pitch tent with your party? Would it be a bad idea?
Let me put this there.
No, would it be a bad idea?
No, it wouldn't. But
Okay.
we'll be careful about the personality of that such a one. Because when we were at the verge of migrating from the Labour Party to the YPP, the YPP wasn't our first option. We were looking at political party that already have some measure of acceptability or otherwise structure, as you may put it. And the party that came to mind, the reason we did not go to that party is simply because of the personality of the state chairman of that party. You cannot bring a scent out and see a demon campaigning on behalf of that scent. It's somehow. So we did it. So the personality of such a one must be that it will resonate with the people, not necessarily the candidate of the YPP. The idea of bigwig for us is acceptability by the people, not the political class. Because what you call political bigwigs today are people who have a lot of money to influence the outcome of elections. We are not adverse to the reality today that some persons have kept monies and monies are coming for some quotas in lieu of the election day itself. You see, the irony of this whole thing is that we have not treated electoral offenders as real criminals and thieves. That's why they perpetuate themselves. That's why they keep doing these things they do on election day. It's an irony, again, a big one, that you could hang the police for a simple parade or a simple protest move on the road. But on the day of the election, when it's destined to be stolen again for another 8 years, the police will carry stick or batting. And the police are most friendly on such days. And the thugs who are armed to the teeth will come and steal the ballot box. Spray guns in the air, sporadic shootings that may even be, may even hit 1 or 2 persons, and make away with the common destiny of people on such a day. The police is so harmless. The police is so without arm and cannot defend the destiny of people that is to be stolen by the sponsor, by these bigwigs that have sponsored thugs to come and steal. Bigwigs for us at the YPP is simple. What are your policies and your ideology? Are they people oriented? I will not speak here as someone who is so selfish. I love what he has just said. Malgam has been in the local government council. I keep telling people, if our democracy must grow, we will trace it to the very unit and the impact of politicians, those who have held power at the unit level. I will do my due diligence. But if he has given 63 persons special labor job, he has done what Christ will do, feed them in perpetuity. As opposed to the one who will give handouts, and when such loyalties now change for whatever reason, such handouts will not come again. The idea of the bigwig swaying the 2024 election, Mr. Wilson, is something that we need to be very careful about, not to ascribe to them powers that they don't have anymore. In the 2023 general election, we saw what happened. In my ward, in my village ward, all the political parties were there with money to give to people to buy their votes. In the end, the APC got 3 votes in my unit. The vote was swayed by the Labour Party. Why do you think it was swayed by the Labour Party? It's not because of anything. It's that the Peter Obi was candidate resonated a token of hope and progress, that we could move from this level to the next level. Do you know the amazing thing? People have not stopped to think just because that era has just been put behind us just now. They have not stopped to think because the reality today is even more staring in their faces that a rubber of Gary, when Peter Obi was running for president, was about 1,200, 1,300 to 1,500. Today, that same pent rubber of Gary is 4,500, is 4K, 4,500, depending on the market. Why has Gary that is not influenced by the dollar become so expensive? That's the Gary that the common man, the ordinary man feeds on. Why? Is it that the Gari that is not much regulated by the international community in terms of the influx, the tussle between the naira and the dollar becomes this expensive in Edo? Why is it that people are crying that their reserves that they were farming with before has been taken from them and given to Chinese company? Don't you think the insecurity in the rural area and this policy of fixing cassava to ethanol has impacted the cost of Gari?
All right.
The big question will matter. Does it bother? Does it improve the life of the ordinary man?
Thank you.
In the streets?
Thank you. No, hold on. Hold on. You react. Just calm down. You react. Just take notes. You react to it. Now, let me come to you, Festus. You react to the cassava ethanol thing. Just hold on. As it stands right now, from what happened in previous election, about the past election, you give an example of what happened in Oedo, Poboka, and the rest of them, where we have bigwigs, but somehow someone just came and cleared the slate. Does that mean that the era of bigwigs has come to an end in Edo politics?
Wouldn't say, you know, one thing I love about Mr. Peter is this, that he's seeing Edo State coming election as a normal SUG election, where you could just go talk and people will say, Aluta continua. My friend, let me tell you, when I was contesting to be a local government chairman,
Yes.
I was hopeful because I was receiving positive signals from the street. But the day of election, decide who becomes the local government chairman. Now, in Nigeria politics, in Edo State politics that we are facing already, the victory will be pronounced by a political bloc. He said something about Osarodin Ogi. Yeah. At times I've told some person that I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Before it turns ugly.
The political bloc I'm trying to talk about is this. Edo North, there is already a standing order that if this man is coming to say, this is what I want, my people will do it for me, they'll do it because he has been able to impart them. He said something about the Ishan people. Wait till you kill, see them for grand. So if those blocks are coming, myself as a student of political science, I can tell you this is where we are headed. Like when we were talking about presidential election, they were telling us Obi this, Obi that, Obi that, and we told them, don't worry. Obi is as corrupt as any of us.
No,
I'm coming, sir. All Nigerians.
Hold on.
Okay, sorry for that.
No name mentioning.
Sorry for that. But what I'm trying to tell you is this. As a politician, the first thing you plan when going to an election is how to win. And winning is in different form, ringing or not ringing. He says something about people, I'm coming, sir. People going to the village to bring people to come and register. You have started your ringing plan already. Because normally people are supposed to wake up and say, I want to go and register. They will register, you don't influence them to register, you don't influence them to vote. So when we talk about ringing, ringing does not just happen on that same election day. The processes that leads to the election, ringing follows. Now, big wins or no big wins, the only thing that will decide what happened in this year, those state elections, are political blocks. You're asking us not to give analysis, so I will leave that. But let me come to my friend. If I am going to ask him, as an individual, with the way God has blessed you, what have you done for humanity within your capacity? So if you are telling me this man is bad, this one is bad, this one is this, God has given you a gift. He has blessed you. What have you been able to give to the people within your terrain, within your unit, within your ward? Why did you have to leave Labour Party? I don't know if you are getting me. I was in PDP. I left PDP because I was not having that attention. I was not seeing that party taking me to where I'm going to. We all as politicians have something in mind. You are not contesting to become this and that because you want to help the people first. We shouldn't be deceived by any person. As a politician, nobody will deceive me and tell me, I want to be governor because Edo State will be good or that. No. If you want to be a president or a governor because you felt the people are suffering and you have 1 billion naira you kept in your bank account, you've never used it for the people, your local government, you've never constructed roads, no free schools, all in your names, and you have 1 billion to yourself, you're not coming to serve us. Every politician first choose himself before the people. So when we're talking about a politician signing a bill in 2016 or 15 that after retirement, this is that is the nature of Nigerians. Not just him, all Nigerians.
All right.
All Nigerians, per se.
Okay. I'll come back to you first, as if time permits. Well, you said you want to. We have just 5 minutes. You know, we have other guests to really, entertain and, of course, ask some questions about some other topical issues. So, as you are talking, you're going to be summarizing your points, okay?
Yeah,
Maximum of 2 minutes. Does it not mean that they... hold on, fine, don't worry. Maybe then I have to, like, interject. Now, it's like the influence of big wigs in Edo State is dwindling. Some are saying it's all over because of what happened in the last election, despite the presence of these big wigs, both internal and external. We saw a party coming out of, because according to them, the people decided it. Do you think because of big wig has been totally exterminated, or they still have a little hope of swaying the election to favor the political party?
Yeah, Mr. Wilson, let me again appreciate you. I can't stop appreciating you talking TV manager. You see, we are talking this today because of the last election. Yes, the issue of, independent voting, let me put it that way, rather than try to ascribe it to, will play a role in the urban LGAs. Take it or leave it. In the rural LGAs, the big wigs have a lot of. I want to be very frank. As I said earlier, I'm a village man, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. You see, my friend, said something earlier that my friend said...
They're all your friends. You are brothers and friends, yeah.
Because I was almost going there. If it is for the collective interest of the people, why did you decide to exit Labour that already had a name?
This may lead to another backlash, and I wouldn't want that here.
And again,
I wouldn't want it on this platform.
Now, as a very young, vibrant, that want to do things differently, quote unquote. By now, your blueprint in terms of programs and policies ought to have been every nook and cranny of the state.
All right.
But here you are throwing the path of the other ones.
Thank you.
Coming, sir.
Your 2 minutes is up.
We have cause. I said it earlier.
I know, your 2 minutes is
there
up.
There are some of our brothers that will say SY, I will do SYZ.
All right.
We have them now in the House of Reps and the Senate.
Thank you. You are saying that. Hold on. Honorable Destiny. You are saying that the impact of the big wigs is still very much in the rural areas. Thank you. That's it. You have the rights or whatever to exit the political party. I want you to explain. I have my reasons. You've left that party. Let's leave it there. All right. Now, the same question I asked you to summarize, same question I'm going to throw at you right now. You policemen are very, very smart. I know where you're going to, but all the same, the influence of big wigs in Edo State in the forthcoming election, will they have more impact or lesser impact in determining who will come at tops? Straight to the point, please.
The big wigs for us, those people who have realized that their collective destinies can be in the hand of one person who could mismanage it. They say life begins at 40, and people say that the fool at 40 is a fool forever. I dare say that the 5 men and women from government successively and do the two terms each, is going to be 40 years of life that is gone already. So to thwart the life and destroy the life of the baby born today, you just take 5 men who have no plan and no purpose. So big wigs for us. My brother said SUG election. Yeah, Barack Obama began his unionism as a student. The best of Nigeria elite, Nigerian politicians in history started from our campuses. All resistance to bad policies started from our campuses. You see those boys and girls who your generation of politicians, your ideal big wigs have delivered nothing but hopelessness to. They will respond to you in the elections that is to come, because some of them are now card-carrying members who know that those who are supporting here have done nothing for them from May 29, 1999 to date. And as far as the question of the migration, this is a freedom of association, as it were there. If you cannot give birth to your policy and program in a party that already has a structure, so to speak, which expectedly you should be there to do, because it will be a lot easier to accentuate your candidature.
So these are big wigs right now.
Wasn't it clear to you that the big wigs came to the Labour Party and bought the exercise?
No, thank you. Hold on, Peter. Thank you. Peter, thank you. Well, first, to you, 2 minutes, please. 2 minutes, please.
Mr. Peter, The big wins are not the problem of Nigerian or Edo State politics. You actually highlighted some of the problem we have as a country, the mental slavery issue. The reason why I was actually against it because that is not in any way related to the big wins. I am a politician who have not been to my leader's house to ask for money. So you cannot, I cannot be your slave. If you call me at the time I'm supposed to be at work, I'll tell you where they go work. Because I work for myself. But let me tell you what we actually need now at this time. We need to sit down and ask ourselves, how do we get there? And how do we live here? Like what I said before, if we must begin to change the storyline, ask me what have I done for my people before coming into politics. Not waking up to tell you like you said, big wins can spend money and people are living.
Thank you.
If I had the money before now, and the community I live can't feel the impact, I will not be a good governor.
Thank you. Thank you. Gentlemen, it's a wrap.
There is no politician.
It's a wrap because you going personal. No time. It's a wrap. You going personal will help no one where you've heard them. So the case of push and pull, big wigs, no big wigs. But in Edo State, the last election taught us something. If you are a big wig, you don't have this connection with the people, you're not in touch with the people, definitely you will not have an impact or an influence in the election. Remember what happened in the past. Yes, you can go to Edo North, Edo Central, Edo South, but you have testimonies about it because Edo State are becoming conscientious. Talking about the electorate, they're becoming more and more aware. You want to give them money, go ahead, they'll take the money and vote with their conscience. So the question still remains, will these big wigs have their way in the forthcoming election?